It's from a month ago. I don't know if any of that makes sense though.
Ethan, were you?
You ready?
Sort of.
I'm here for you.
Hey, Steve, good to
How are
see
you?
you. How are you?
Good.
What is this now? This is-
Oh, that's
I
mine.
didn't
I've
see
taken
it.
out the drawer.
Yes.
There's a new update. I don't know if you guys saw, I added one clause.
Yes, yeah.
You saw that. I had to wait till Warren, said it was okay. Oh, no, I have it here. I'm all right. What?
I think there, look at the top right here, it says 40 minutes. So whether it's not under the business account.
Just making. a quick-
Well, that's not good if it ends in
I
40
know,
minutes.
because that's like the free version.
Who's managing that? All right. So then what is gonna have to happen? We'd have to start a new meeting at 40 minutes. You're logged into the right account, right?
Yes,
Must be, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you set the invitation out.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's why the YouTube option's not there, because it's reverted to free accounts for some reason.
She's there all the
I don't know.
Okay, I can do issues tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't do it on the fly here. All right, so we have Warren, right? Yes.
I was supposed to be a breeze today.
Ah,
It is out.
thanks.
Just fine.
Okay. All right, I'm calling the October Planning Board meeting to order. First item up is the David Birch lot line adjustment, the continuation of the public hearing. Just to remind everyone where we are with this, we have been looking at this in public hearing the last couple of months. We have an amended ag form.
Yes.
And if we could pull that up, please, where the applicant with our assistance looked at all the farms within 500 feet of the property, including in Columbia County, and notices were sent out to all those properties, the addresses on record. And again, we are looking at this right now to approve a single lot line adjustment of one piece of the larger, actually, I'll get into that when we put the map up. But so right now, this is the agricultural data sheet. It should be flushed out more now. Can we go down to the we have the list of the farms that were, okay, so now this is the list of farms that were notified pursuant to the regulations of this form. Now, I guess being that hearing is, or we don't have to open the public hearing because it's being continued, right, Warren? Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember whether we even decided to have a public hearing on this, but I think we did. So yeah, why don't you just continue the public hearing?
Yes, and we left it open after last month when we
Yeah,
realized the
okay.
form was not complete.
Right.
So I guess how many, are there many people looking to speak? I don't know if we want to start a list or if you guys can agree on who wants to speak first and et cetera. Well, Mr. Birch, do you have, why don't we hear from Mr. Birch first, if he has any comments? We don't have to go through the whole application again, but if we can pull up the map, just so everyone knows where we're talking. Oh, where's my, we have, Scott, our new alternate member, suggested that we got a laser pointer. So now we should be able to point to things. If I can ever find, where's the red one?
Yeah.
Oh, look at it.
For an eye out.
Oh, there it goes. It went right by. Hmm.
There it
Hey, I see it
You
in
did?
the wall. Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Why? It does
Doesn't
not like
shine on the
the screen.
screen.
It won't work on the screen. Oh, that's great. That's hilarious.
I can point.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, get a pointer.
Anyway, all right, well, that was
Yeah, old school pointer.
so anyway, here's the map up here, and as we talked about, we're only dealing with this single lot line adjustment of this parcel at the top, being changed from this kind of slight sliver, which Kate's gonna point out, the sliver piece being added to the bottom. Yep, and the line just moving like that. So you end up with a rectangle at the top. There's a house currently on that parcel, and that house will remain there or be renovated or something. I believe not to speak for the applicant, but the intent is to sell that parcel to someone
It's in
who's interested.
contract, yeah.
There you go.
And people have been trying to get in there for 3 months now.
All right, so is there anything else you want to add, Mr.
Oh, I just
Bertram?
hope that we can move this forward tonight.
Okay, so who first wants to speak from the public on this application? Actually, there's someone online, right? Let's get, just because of this snafu with the Zoom, let's make sure we get him. Rob, is it? If you could say your name and tell us, you can go ahead and give your comments about the application.
Hi, thank you for having me tonight. My name is Rob Lambert. My wife and I own some land in Columbia County, and I really appreciate just the letter that we got in the mail and just my opportunity to speak and to respond. And I also think I submitted a letter, an email online to Tricia earlier this week or last week, just with a couple points, just to just voice our concern and just to understand not only more about the lot line adjustment, which seems reasonable, of course, but more about what the end game is and just sort of what the impact is on the larger community, which everybody sees the world from where they sit, right? But we're just concerned, not only me, but also our neighbors in Columbia County, which to the north of the affected parcels, what it means for the tree lines and for the septic system, as well as sort of, the water. But I understand that might be beyond the scope of tonight. But I just wanted to submit that email for the record, and just to, voice our concerns and just to have them heard. So I appreciate the opportunity and thank you very much for letting us be aware of what's happening. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for your comments. Yeah, we got your letter. That'll be entered into the record also, as well as anyone else who submitted a letter, Mr. Cacchetti.
Right.
I don't know if we received any others. And yes, so we're only considering approval on this lot line adjustment this week, or at this time. But we are still gathering comments regarding the possible larger application that was originally discussed. So the way seeker, the environmental review of these things goes, is we have to take into account any known possible other applications. We can't just look at this without considering that. So it is good that you submitted those other comments. And thank you. All right, there's no one else online. Our alternate member Al is up there observing.
Scott just came up too.
He's
You can't
on.
see him in the screen.
Okay.
He's there.
And just for the record, everyone knows, but under the current rules, Al and Scott are not technically, they're observing the meeting, but they can't vote or participate. They can participate, but they can't vote or make any decisions, participate in any decisions, being you have to be here in person. Next, okay. So who else would like to speak from
I'm
the,
happy to start.
okay,
I also sent a letter to you guys, well, through the town board, and hopefully that got distributed to you as well. And hopefully y'all had a chance to read that, but we delved into this a little bit further with some of the reports and plans you have, and really kind of picked out the points that really hit home with this. The background of it, if we don't let this lot line adjustment go by and go through, then obviously the subdivision is not feasible. So that being said, just looking at the bigger picture, which we need to take into account here, all the points that I made on here are pertinent to this application. I know that the aquifers are really going to come into play. I also believe that part of the realty subdivision law, part 5, a pump test needs to be done. Sorry, on the property prior to any subdivision. We need to see the impacts that that's going to have on the adjacent neighbors and the wells. If this is municipal water, that's a different story. You guys have all the flows and everything, and you can understand the impacts on your municipal system. But with private systems and private wells, if you were to allow this and then without a pump test, the town could potentially be liable if Jesse's well or my well or Pamela's well or any other neighboring well dries up. So that has to be done. So we would like to see that plan, put in place beforehand before it moves forward. But then there's several other contradictions in the master plan versus the zoning that all need to be considered. And we think that this should all be taken into account now. A traffic study should also be done to understand the impacts of the development on the road, in particular with the agricultural community in mind. Obviously, the winter season is here and there's really not much ag going on. So we would have to wait for that until the summer when there is a lot of agricultural activity. So, that would postpone it significantly as well. This is definitely out of character for the community. I think we all see that. Every time we have a public hearing, there's more and more people that show up. The word is getting out. So I think that, the forum here needs to take that all into account.
Okay, thank you. One thing I want to note, and we did talk about it at the last meeting, or the one before. I mentioned the comprehensive plan has been updated. And I feel a little bad because you did do a good job like pulling out the sections from the old plan. But the comprehensive plan as of 2019 has been updated. And it is a little, if you search, it is a little hard to find, but it is on the website. We're gonna hopefully remedy to that. In the next week or two, we're gonna get it set up so those things are right out in front on our planning board section, so you can see the current comprehensive plan. That one was in place. We even had zoning. There was no zoning. That's why it said the living zoning thing. Zoning was put in 2009.
Okay.
That comprehensive plan was from 2004. And then now in 2019, we updated everything.
It's a comprehensive plan, but it's not a master plan. The master plan covered a much broader area. So it didn't cover all the topics
have a
that
master plan.
you would think.
I don't think we,
We have a comprehensive.
yeah, it's a comprehensive plan.
And everybody in the community should have access to that. So if it's not published,
It was published, it's just, there was actually hearings, there was committees, many people from the community were involved in drafting it. And, but right now, it's a little, you end up finding that old one first, like when you search, if you just put in Google, Pine Plains Comprehensive Plan, but if you go and search on our website, it comes up, but we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna fix that, make sure it's out there. It was published at the library, it's published, it was put around everywhere, there's copies of it, physical copies that we still even have, again, maybe give them one. If we want. All right, so,
we did
excuse me,
say
sir.
that it had been updated.
Excuse me, sir, may I ask who was just speaking before you, the gentleman that was just speaking?
My name is Matt. I'm an adjacent landowner directly behind the subject property.
Matt, what's your last name? My name's Rob Lambert.
Cicchetti.
okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Lambert, all right, let's not, we're not gonna get in, that was fine, but we're not gonna get in crosstalk, just so we don't, if something's more acrimonious, we don't wanna.
Thank
You guys address everything to the board and,
Thank
okay,
you.
Thank you. And I am kind of loose with asking questions. Like technically, these kind of hearings go, people just say their piece and we just sit here. But you know, I do like to have some dialogues to help people understand things and know where the law is at, where we are at, et cetera. Okay, next up, who next wants to speak? Okay, say your name.
Yeah, Jesse Conklin, 617 Bee River Road. I just purchased the property about 2 years ago, and with understandings that it was a protected piece. Like clear of subdivisions and so forth like that. So I kind of, looked at the properties and so forth, and I just felt comfortable, with purchasing that property. Now that there's a subdivision on the table, I'm pretty upset. My neighborhood was peaceful. It's going to have a severe impact on it. We are accepting it. We really don't want it. And speaking out of my heart, truth be said, is that we feel that it's going to have an impact that's not going to be good. So we would like to, not see that property line, because that's just going to open it up for that subdivision, which is coming up next.
Okay. All right, next up.
Dave Cookingham. I live just down the road from Bee River Road.
Okay,
Is it my understanding the final thing is they're going to subdivide that into 5 or 6 different parcels?
all right, so what we're looking at tonight specifically to approve would be this one lot line adjustment, taking that kind of north-south dotted line you see there,
From where LeBurn is and where he was used to be, yeah.
and then turning it into a rectangle. The applicant has originally came to us as this was part of one big major subdivision into 5 or 6 total. How many lots, Mr. Burke? Total of 6 lots. They would end up from 2 to 6. However, currently, we are only looking to do this one lot line adjustment. Nothing, we are gathering information for the environmental review and comments for both this and for the possible future one, but we are not making any decisions on the future.
I do know you have wetlands in there too also.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's a swamp there and wetlands.
On the 20-acre parcel you're talking about.
It encompasses onto that triangle piece that you want to incorporate also.
No, they want to take the triangle off.
Yeah, I know, but the wetlands on, I'm just saying, and that's going to cut down.
But there's
the
no
road frontage
addition.
Quite a bit.
There's already a well and all of that on that
I know where they
small
all are.
parcel.
If you're gonna put 5 or 6 parcels in there, then you're gonna be really crowded in there. And these folks, they bought this land and you're only gonna be like 200 yards from Matt's house. These houses are built up over the hill, it's only 200 yards. What's gonna be 5, 6 years down the road? You're gonna have kids down there hooting, hauling dogs. He didn't buy a 333 acre farm to hear all that. He doesn't expect this landscape to change. And neither do any of us that live in Paul's Corners.
Mhm.
And another thing that's in effect is the wells. My well, I got a 380-foot well, I always run over, till my neighbor drilled a well 2 years ago. Now my static level is 150 down. So the more wells you drill, there's only so much water down there. Main concern is water, and everything is downhill on all those parcels. Where's the sewage gonna go? Has an environmental impact statement been done on all this? Traffic, sewer, water? I don't know. Where's that coming up?
That would be coming up for the further subdivision, the 6 parcels. But as far as this EAF form is filled out for this
This
lot
house,
line adjustment.
right.
I mean, right now, we've got anywhere from 75 to 100 tractor trailers running up down that road a day. Truck road. It goes from.
Here's a truck route. And you have all the milkers, the milk trucks from the dairy farms,
Cement
lumber
trucks, you
trucks,
name it,
cement trucks,
you
you
get
name
them
it.
all.
Tapered. I'm concerned about traffic. I don't think it's conducive to 6 more pages. I would just like to see a traffic study and a water study, because no, it isn't funny. You know, I live there.
Mr. Yeah, let's not have everyone talking to each other. You guys are talking to us. That's it. So,
I live directly across from it,
okay.
so I'll be
get
affected
your
probably
name.
more than anybody else.
Oh, yeah, what is your name, ma'am, by the way?
It's Pamela
Pamela,
McKay.
I think I remember.
That's my only concern. I would just like, and I would have expected when somebody submits something like that, because where I come from, they would have done an environmental study.
Well, you have to. That's part of the secret
Yeah.
process. That's what.
Right.
So again, I know it's a little convoluted because of this. So the original application was for 6. We never got that far because he said, well, I just want to do this one for now. Because he has someone who wants to buy that piece at the top. So we're just doing this lot line adjustment.
and the
With an
house is
existing
already
house,
there,
with
with
an
an
existing-
existing house,
Well,
existing
Yeah.
well,
Existing
existing
driveway.
everything.
So, right, but we still, because we know that he has this intention, we have to take into account your comments, the environment, we would take into account that information, but we're not making any decisions on the EAF for the further subdivision tonight. We would not, we're not able to. There would not be enough information at this point. But for just a simple lot line adjustment, we probably have enough to just swing that line. You know, we have enough information if we want to approve that, if the rest of the board feels like they want to approve that. Right, okay, all right. I know it kind of gets, all right. You had a question?
Yeah, what's preventing, him selling the lot, as is, without the lot adjustment?
Which lot?
The one that he's, the one that's, with a diagonal going.
The
through
triangle?
house. Yeah, the triangle. It's there, it's,
I don't know, he's,
Quite frankly, I don't think
it's
that
not our
matters.
business
Yeah.
really, you know, it's, you know, he's a landowner,
So
he
different.
owns land, he wants to sell, he has somebody who's interested in that piece, you know.
And I got another question.
uh,
If that
All
gets approved tonight, is that triangular lot that used to belong to the Birds, is that gonna be subdivided and that house gonna be cut off and the rest of the acreage gonna go to that other property?
Yeah. So the little triangle with the pond on it, you see
Right.
that?
Is gonna
That
go
goes
to-
up, that gets, that would get attached to the 8, is it the 18
2A,
acres?
Yeah.
And then it becomes 20 acres, I believe, right? Then, and then the top of the triangle there gets attached to that trapezoid in the back.
So in other words, you're gonna subdivide the piece that he's gonna take off tonight, that triangle piece, that's gonna be cut in half and the house is gonna be.
Yeah, Kate.
So it'll
Kate's gonna
just
show
be,
you.
it'll become, instead of these two right now it is, it will become these two. This whole thing and this whole thing.
which opens up the frontage for the subdivision.
Sure, yeah, I mean, he'll have
Yeah,
more road
this would
frontage.
have to be,
Mhm.
this would have to be a shared driveway here if that were a driveway.
But yes, like if you look at the plan for the possible future subdivision, it's cutting, you know, into multiple lots that would have frontage on that road and be able to have a driveway, et cetera. They were, I believe, around 4 acres each.
And what is the zoning for that? Is that 4 acres or
It's
5
half
acres?
acre.
Half acre,
Half acres.
Half acres.
yes. So you're talking about lots that are, you know,
So that means that I
8
could
times as,
take my Bean River Ranch and subdivide that into multiple
If it was
cluster.
approved.
Sure, yeah, why not?
And not that we.
Well,
want to do that.
No,
It's
no,
just- I'm
but
just
it is-
saying,
that
it-
is-
it- You open this door.
It's
and
in the
everybody has
Hamlet
the opportunity to
subdivision.
Do that as well.
But that's already in
Which,
our zoning,
We're trying to protect the valley.
correct?
is it, you're right there. And now again, that Hamlet, Pulver's Corner Hamlet zoning is only right along the road there. I'm not quite sure where you're.
I'm right across from this.
Right across from.
Right across.
So, yeah, you see on the map there, if you go online, you can see. I don't know if you could pull this up right now, but like this green here is what has that zoning. See this green?
Mhm.
So it's right up to the county line.
Yeah, and I'm right
And
across
Bean
from
River.
onto the east side. of
Right,
that.
so this large piece is yours
Yeah.
here? So the front part of your property could have that zoning, but not the back. The back is in the road.
And this zoning has been since '09.
09.
So if you've only been there for 2 years, this was already in place before you bought your property. The hamlet.
And a lot of that was, you know, I guess up on this road, there are some larger parcels like this one we're talking about. But that hamlet zoning, my guess, I wasn't involved back in 2009, but my guess is they're trying to be descriptive of what's there, especially along 199 there, right? You have that little hamlet, you have the small parcels, and so they're
We
just,
would keep it as a
Yeah.
hamlet.
yeah.
How far does the hamlet expand from the center of Culver's Corners?
Sir, can you step up?
It goes to
You
the
can come
county
sit here
line.
if
To
you
the
see-
county line.
To the county line?
To the
Right.
county line north, well, this property, the top of this property is the county line. And then it ends.
I know where the property lines run. It's just, it seemed for a hamlet to expand out all the way to the county, line. That's a long way, Dick.
Well.
But it is what it is. That's
The
that's the-
zoning is what the zoning is.
The circle where I live.
And again,
I-
remember, we're not makers of laws. We are,
Right.
we are,
We are only
we
the
deal with what the law
enforcers,
is, you
what
know.
they gave us,
yeah, so,
what everyone voted on.
But this is not what the surrounding property owners want.
Well,
Regardless, I mean, we.
But unfortunately, when you purchase it, that's the zoning area it's in.
anyway, all right,
And
let's,
so he comes in and he puts his development in and he prospers on it and he leaves and that's it. He doesn't even-
There's a lot that, I mean, there's a lot that he would have to do before that would happen.
right,
And
but
they
that's-
would
this
have
is
to
the start
do,
To it. This
they
is
would
the
have
start.
to, they have to do the well tests and all of that and the secret review and
This
this.
is the start.
well, the effect of this, if it were to be approved, would be the same amount of parcels, same amount of houses. You know, I mean, just pointing that out, you know, so,
Different road frontage.
different road frontage, yes.
The road frontage is the key to the whole thing.
But it still is not approving the whole thing.
Well, if you approve it tonight, it is.
No, no, no.
No,
We cannot,
No.
we're not approving, we're not even considering the larger multiples of the 6 lots. We're only doing this. If
Once you move that tonight, the road frontage encompasses the whole thing.
that,
no,
okay,
no.
Yeah, because it's gonna be all one piece of property then.
okay,
So that's gonna.
And then he would have to come to-
County line right down Culver's Corners.
then he would have to come to us with an application. Oh, which he already has. That's why we know about his plans, because he came to us with this originally the 6 lots. So that's why we have to consider that. Again, it gets convoluted. When considering this one lot line adjustment, we have to consider that he has these further plans. So yes, we consider that. That goes into our decision factoring of. Oh,
Seems
boy.
like it's already pre-done here. It seems like you already know it's half-acre parcels and it's already a done deal,
It's half-acre zoning.
half-acre zone.
Zoning, but he's possibly, I don't know, he might change his mind. I don't know what's gonna happen, but if he goes forward with that other application, the 6 lot application, which was about approximate 4-acre parcels, it would end up with 6 4-acre parcels out of these 2 pieces. So, and yes, a part of it would be to get that road frontage would make that possible. You would need that road frontage for the county, but it does not mean that that's approved anywhere further down the line of being approved. Well, I mean, there's nothing like
Plus
hidden
it's-
by that or having, or
Plus
anything.
it's the
It's just-
county and the state.
Right,
They're
and
not town roads.
Yeah, the county would have to approve any driveways and site
And so
distances
does the
as well.
state.
No, no.
Oh, no, it'd be the county. on
Just
that.
the county. The state would have anything to do with,
The intersection.
yeah,
The intersection.
the intersection issues you guys have mentioned, that's the state. The town can't even do it. The town can petition the state and they can, you know,
How
they
about
don't
the environmental impact on the wetlands?
of which, are we talking about just this?
Yes.
That's the county.
This, no, that's
The-
us. The environmental impact, we have to take into account the environmental impact of this lot line adjustment. But all it is moving lines on a map. I mean, like what,
Buildings there already.
it's not doing
Yeah, the
anything
building
to,
is
there's
already
nothing being
there.
built. It's not doing anything to you know, I would assume, we still have to go through that. We're gonna have a form that we're gonna go through in a little while. But it is not, you know, in my mind, you know, I don't see how that, changing that property line affects the water or anything.
You're saying in a little while tonight?
After we close the public hearing, we will then look at the EAF form that he submitted that has, you know, what this lot line adjustment is, you know, we have to take to see how that will affect the environment. We're gonna go through different criteria, the water, the land use, natural resources, historical resources, et cetera, et cetera.
Given the fact that this is going to lead to subdivision. why don't
Could lead.
the subdivision application if you will approve it because of the road frontage? Can you make the studies be done from the pump test, the traffic study?
That all has to be done anyway.
But
If
can
he
you make
puts,
it be
does
done
a sub,
prior to
this?
issuing? Yes.
No.
correct.
No.
I mean, I'm not gonna speak for the board, but I highly doubt the board would require that of a landowner to do, to move up, to just. No.
he would have to do that for a subdivision.
For the,
Oh, I know that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%, but this is kind of a different circumstance here where he has to do this to facilitate the subdivision. So why don't you make him do all that beforehand?
I mean, anyway, anyway, I don't wanna. I don't
think
know.
there's
It
an
just
assumption that
seems-
if we grant this lot line, then that means that the subdivision is gonna be granted, but I don't know that you should make that assumption, is what we're
No,
trying to say.
I think he understands it. It makes it easier for him, or it's one step in the
Right, right.
process.
Right.
Yes,
Like,
please
and
study.
like that subdivision
Right, right.
plan that he had would have included this lot line adjustment anyway, but. You know, I mean, do you have land? I mean, I don't want to be, you know, you have land, like someone might come to you and like want to purchase a piece of your land, and I mean, you know, as a landowner, how would you? You know, someone, and I understand when you start building things and things that affect other people, but like, you know, if you just wanted to give your neighbor a piece of your property and out of, you know, whatever agreement you guys made. You know, and we came in and said, now you have to do $30,000 worth of testing and something. I mean, how would that make you feel?
Well, I wouldn't be planning a large subdivision, right? So we already know that application is.
But even if it was a piece, you'd still want the same thing done.
I mean, that's what you're asking us. to
That's
do.
what you're
That's
asking us to do.
You're asking us to have him go through all this testing and money just to move a line so we can sell this piece of property.
Well, I think a single lot would be different. I mean, 6 lots is,
But this
This is not six lots.
this is just.
well,
a
it
single-
will be.
It could be.
Could
There's
be.
the- Correct, but that's the proposition, right?
If
So,
if he
this
were to
isn't-
continue with that application,
Correct.
again, and he would have to come to us and then. Yeah, I mean, he could.
I know how.
And then we-
it works. I'm
right.
just saying, this isn't just one parcel being given to, you know, a neighbor or a daughter or something like that. This is a lot line adjustment to facilitate that subdivision. So do all the homework now.
To facilitate the sale of that,
We
this
can
lot
sell it
line.
the way it is.
Well, apparently the person doesn't want that. I don't know. We can't make that. Anyway, all right, we're gonna go on to the next person. Sir, do you have comments or no? Ma'am, do you have anything you wanna?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of agree with all these neighbors here.
Oh, could you say your name?
I'm Jennifer Chichetti.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, no, but I mean, we bought this property to have, you know, I have 3 little children, we're gonna have dogs. To have, potential neighbors right in my backyard, basically. I'm not happy about that. Like, you know, like who knows what people are doing on their own property. We go hunting, I have children, play in the woods, we play in our property, we want our space, and our privacy for that reason. You know, like I'm local to this area my whole life. And the beauty of this area is the rural countryside that it is. And I think the more it populates, it changes the whole community and the dynamic and the culture. And I come from Rhinebeck and I've seen that culture change within 20 years. It's a completely foreign place. And the more people you bring into this place, it's going to be the same idea.
Is there anyone else that is looking to speak on this application? All right, if that is the case,
Mr. Lambert has his hand up.
oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Lambert?
Hi, I think I spoke out of order earlier, so I put my hand up.
Thank you.
Of course. It says there's only 3 minutes left on the Zoom and it's gonna expire. But I just wanted to see how we can, follow your discussions and your decision tonight. Will you send out another letter?
So we will, we're gonna post this recording to our YouTube channel, which all our meetings are posted to. There seemed to be a snafu tonight. Normally we broadcast on YouTube, but
Okay.
there's something with the Zoom account tonight. That's why it's saying the meeting's gonna end. And by the way, anyone who's on there, we're gonna have to send you a link. We're gonna have to start a new meeting once we run out of time. But somehow it is reverted to a free account. We don't know why. We pay for this, so I don't know. There's a problem. And then also we do publish on our website. We don't know if we publish usually on the Facebook. We just do the agendas and the up to the meeting, but we don't usually publish
The
them.
minutes are on the town.
The minutes will be appearing also on the town website.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so is there anyone else? All right, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the public hearing is now closed. Dialogue with the public is, we're not gonna do that anymore. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming out and for giving all the comments and perspectives. So Warren, we're
Yes.
gonna have to email you, this meeting's gonna end in 1 minute, 30 seconds, and we're gonna have to we're gonna
Okay,
have to get you, we're gonna send you another link to another meeting. There's some sort of snafu with the Zoom account and to get you back up and Drew and anyone else on there who wants it.
so we'll continue the meeting tonight, me?
Yes, in like, a few minutes. Did you already create it?
I didn't do it yet. I'm
Okay.
hoping somebody-
Okay, so
Get this thing-
why don't I sign off for now?
Yeah, sign off and we'll get you that link
Sorry,
right ASAP.
I'll wait for the link. Okay.
Okay. So I can't believe it doesn't show up on the screen after all that.
You're closer.
And then the first thing we have to do is we're gonna pull up the EAF once. That's. It's tonight, well, the nights.
Oh, of course. Oh, isn't that always the way?